Guys, this game, you guys, holy crap, this game! But I'll save the extra reasons why you should be playing this game for the review. Right now it's time to go over the real star of the show, those amazing levels in Tropical Freeze. You wouldn't believe some of the extra thought and effort the guys at Retro put into them. So I make lists, and it seemed like an opportunity I couldn't pass up. The criteria for this list is basically how memorable they were to me, how well designed the levels were, and if the level has a great soundtrack, because let's face it, David Wise is a genius. Get ready to see just a handful of the levels that make DKC Tropical Freeze not to be overlooked. Oh, and one more thing, this list will contain spoilers on certain levels. But hey, don't blame me if you haven't played the game, fair warning. Alright, let's start it off!
10th place.
Don't you just love the music that sounds like you're in the Swiss Alps mountaintops? It's very scenic here, which gives it this uplifting and peaceful feel. Hey, Ramby's back! Let's go kill everything by touching it! The combination of happy, joyful music mixed with total destruction is just too comedic to not put a smile on my face and laughter in my heart. Even with a small volcano blowing, the music doesn't change, except for when you're riding on Ramby, which is saying something as some levels change the music almost 3 times. You'd think they'd change it to something that suits the tone of "Fire from above will be your doom." But here, nope. Keep it happy while you bulldoze everything in your way. Plus, who doesn't like Ramby? Besides the roadkill he made.
9th place.
Water levels are back, but don't expect a pleasant swim in this stage. The level starts with a more tense version of aquatic ambience, which should start to tell you that something is wrong. Then the music changes to a remix of Lockjaw's Saga, so you know that feeling of uncertainty and tension was right. While you're swimming, you notice some movement in the background. Walls shake, you remember the name of the level is lrate 8, the stage on the overworld map has tentacles, and you realize... It's back! The giant octopus from Returns! Returns! But you're in his underwater turf now, so you gotta get to the surface while avoiding his grasp. And it's ink, cause that's even more deadly! The rest of the level has Squidicus, yeah, I know it's an octopus named Squidicus, don't ask me, looking around like a peeping Tom while trying to grab you with its long tentacles, and thankfully, this is an anime, so it only wants to kill you without violating you. He's also trying to crush you with the walls, and it's very hard to avoid the poison urchins. Once you finally get to the surface, you can fire between barrels, cutting the chains that will drop bombs on a giant water stalker. Yeah, after all this time, you finally get some payback on this soon-to-be seafood dinner that could feed a town. This level does a great job at building up suspense, remixing a track from DKC 2, which gives you an extra plus in my book, the build-up and the payoff. But it's only at number 9 because, well, the name of the level and those tentacles on the map did kind of tip you off. They should have just called this place Spoiler Alert.
8th place.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. The third world is my favorite in the game, and Grassland Groove is quite the welcome wagon. There's this music that's so catchy, even the trees can't stop shaking to them. Why do I think they're giant trevenants? And the entire stage just seems to be one gigantic celebration of the Savannah Plains. What with the music and the animal float-like things in the later half, the celebration would actually explain those fireworks, by the way. This level is so colorful and lively, and these platforms really like getting haircuts. It's definitely one of the best levels in a game to get you in bitter spirits when you're having a bad day. And no, I won't be making a Circle of Life joke, that's way too easy.
7th place.
It's a rocket barrel ride through a fruit juicer factory with a penguin driving a giant wooden mech trying to blow you up with claws, penguins he shoots out, and knocking everything over. That's what I like about this level, because you honestly can't ignore this guy. You have to watch out for his attacks, and he's there messing up the environment just to mess you up. Whatever it takes, whatever the destruction, he's there, except for this part, to make you go boom! You would think dodging giant guillotines would be enough to make you nervous, as well as those slicers on the wall, but nope, this guy steals the show. He is actually trying so hard to take away your lives, and then he doesn't check his rearview mirrors, ending the chase. You didn't deliver the finishing blow, but he got what was coming to him, so, closure.
6th place.
Did you ever have a level that drove you crazy, but you still respected it for how well designed it was? That's the relationship between me and Frozen Frenzy. The factory that was on your aisle was also frozen over in the hostile takeover. In fact, you had to start up the factory again because it entered a new ice age. Many platforms have now turned to ice that split and break while watching out for those little electric orb guys, because if they touch that light bulb under your platform, it's lights out for you. You must be very careful with how you trek around here, as it feels like nothing is safe. and if it's your first time, chances are you won't notice the little traps they made. When I died here my first time, I had to quickly look at what killed me, and it was because hanging on those vines for too long brought the vine to the sparky things and ran electricity through them, fricasseeing my hide. I was shocked at my death, but I really had to stop and notice what killed me, and, well, I had to hand it to them. That was a really good trap. It might have seemed a little cheap, but it was my own fault for not paying too close attention, and have since learned from that mistake on this level, but still end up dying due to carelessness, and if Dixie isn't around. I feel helpless and naked without her. Oh. Well, I still feel helpless without her. The whole savannah is set ablaze, and it's not glorious in the slightest. No one's happy, no one's celebrating, and soon there might not be anything left. Tree branches with leaves have been reduced to ashes that will crumble as soon as you touch them. Flames fall from the treetops, and the temperature of the ground is so intense that after setting foot on it, it will catch on fire. The level has its fair sense of challenge and its haunting soundtrack, but it's just how memorable the level is to me that put it here. Cause I'm not going to forget a sight like this. You can try and compare this to Angel Island from Sonic 3, but here the fire isn't just for show and can cause some nasty burns. This once beautiful savannah is now turned into a desolate land of smoke and rubble, where the very life that lives here could vanish. A horrifying image like this only reminds us that we need to take care of our stuff and the planet we live on, lest we watch it dissolve right in front of us. Even the music makes it seem like the echoes of its past beauty are crying out in pain. I know the first time I played this level, I tried to use those water fruits to put out as much fire as I could, even though it was all in vain as it would return the next time I played the level. Smokey the Bear would be proud. If those really were Trevenants, you can bet someone's gonna get hit by Forest Curse for this. Or by these guys at least. He deserved it.
Fourth place.
Reckless Ride was fun, but I kinda wanted to play an actual level like that instead of flying through one. Well, thankfully, Fruity Factory happens right after Reckless Ride, and just look at what is going on here. Fruit being turned into juice in a giant factory that's still in the jungle. It may not sound that big of a deal at first, except that the fruit is really large, so they need bigger things to cut it up, which means bigger juicers, butcher knives, and the main part of a blender stacked vertically, which starts to chase you for no good reason other than it's a platform obstacle. And just look at this part, the floor is now a food processor, so falling into that is way worse than a bottomless pit. So what do? You have to wait for the fruit to get sliced up so it creates these little platforms before you can move on. I just love the setup for this level. You feel like you've played every setting possible in a 2D platformer. And then they throw this at you. It's colorful, it's creative, and needless to say, I enjoyed the tour of this facility regardless of the many hazards that try to cut me up. Okay, in all honesty, how genius is this level? This is the freezer section of Fruity Factory. Despite being completely frozen over, the ice mechanics are nowhere near as slippery as you'd expect. Except for the spots where the giant melon springs make it a giant ice slide. This part alone, just superb ice and spring slide fun. It's one of those times where you just go with the level flow and realize what a great level this is. And just to play around with the frozen fruit theme even more, there are giant popsicles that act as platforms that will start falling off the stick as soon as you jump on them. Oh man, that looks so good, I want to lick it. But I know in this place my tongue would get stuck and then I'd fall to my death. All the slides and frozen treats are only the side dishes to what I find is the best part of this level, the remix of In a Snowbound Land. This is like a dessert for my ears. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be coming back for a second helping of this level.
Second place.
Remember that Scorch N Torch level? I'm willing to bet that the natural disasters of this level caused that wildfire. Apparently Mother Nature thought it was time to do some spring cleaning the hard way. Tiny twisters are the least of your worries. In fact, those actually help you reach items you couldn't normally lay your hands on. And hey, it's our old buddy Rambi! So destruction reprises its role. I love how the snowman is cowering in fear even with a shield and horned helmet. However, Rambi's not exactly the one causing all the carnage as you can plainly see. Oh, is the wind not enough for you? Well, let's throw in some lightning, meaning you better be alert to those flashing warnings or else that thunder shock is going to be super effective. And that's when the level is being nice enough to tell you. And just when you think things have gotten too chaotic with all the enemies being blown at you from the background and from the right side, you get sent into the eye of the twister. Oh, and the lightning hasn't stopped, so precise jumps are thrown out for a do or die situation. Don't even think of trying to wait for that DK logo at the end, cause nature is impatient. Ah, great. Looks like a lightning storm is coming. I better get inside where it's safe. Giant buzzsaws are all over the place that cuts up pieces of wood just to make new obstacles! Then your cart gets totaled and you have to go on a log ride outside. Actually, this is just like that ride at Knott's Berry Farm. Except it's not boring. Then it gets manufactured into another minecart and oh god! The giant buzzsaw broke off the chains and is coming after me! And all the wood it's cutting up is being sent out in front of me and wrecking the track! Calming myself down, I just can't help but love what the level does here. It shows how the minecarts are made, it creates platforms in a way that makes perfect sense, with the added bonus of tension of not knowing where a platform will come up, and all the while this music plays reminding you to please keep all hands and arms inside the vehicle or you will lose them. Look at DK, he looks terrified when he's ducking, and based on his surroundings, you can't blame him. You might be allowed to get hit by those things once, but I can't imagine anyone who would willingly have the desire to get chopped in half, then into a fourth. Though they aren't completely heartless, as every time you jump into a new transport, your health goes back to 2. Though they were kinda jerks for putting that in there. It's just the way the level plays out, the tension, the pressure, the fear, and this part that makes it so memorable to me, and it's probably my favorite minecart level in the entire series. Oh yeah, and it's also incredibly creative with what it does. Yeah, you just can't ignore that. And as you can tell, this list is over, and if you've played Tropical Freeze, I'd like to know what your 10 favorite levels were. This is a madhouse! A madhouse! I really don't think I need to say anything here, but with this video being part of the Tropical Freeze week, so you know all those other videos that are a part of the week are right there. The music tracks for the next Smash Tropical Freeze edition, the 15-minute challenge had to be replaced with my list of the 5 hardest DKC Super Nintendo Lost World levels, as well as the reviews for the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country Trilogy, and the Tropical Freeze review. And remember, if these videos get a combined view total of 100,000 views before the end of March, I'll quickly get to work on another week, but for something else. So let's keep that in mind, and I'll see you guys later.